Hello. Welcome to Reverse De-Evolution. I'm Carol. I talk about how I react to political issues and social issues. And I was listening to Democracy Now!, Amy Goodman, and I got pretty hot over something. I want to talk about the psychology of politics from a layman's point of view and from what I'm hearing. This is strictly what I've perceived, and one of the reasons I turned my comments off is because people have disagreed with me and said I was wrong, but I still have a right to express an opinion and an experience in the way I see things. In my life experiences module, I'm learning how to validate my own experiences, and I want to encourage others to validate their own experiences, even if it might be wrong to someone else. Sometimes our perceptions are incorrect. Sometimes we get a little paranoid or we get a little conspiracy theory, but I believe that if we spend too much time worrying about what other people think there, and we spend too much time that we end up repressing ourselves and oppressing ourselves and allowing others to oppress us, it defeats our whole purpose for a democracy or for what I believe this country stands for. I was listening to Democracy Now!, and Amy Goodman was reporting that Thomas Allen's had a manifesto, had like a written thing, and I think somebody named Norah O'Donnell read an excerpt of this suspect's manifesto. The suspect, Thomas Allen's, who allegedly, the alleged gunman suspect. She said, Mr. Trump, there's an excerpt of a manifesto, and it's written, quote, "I am a citizen of the United States of America. I'll rephrase this a little. I, Thomas Allens, am a citizen of the United States of America. What my representatives do reflects on me, and I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, a rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes," unquote. In an interview with 60 Minutes, President Trump became defensive when host Norah O'Donnell read an excerpt of the manifesto. You think he was referring to you? Asked Norah O'Donnell. You think he was referring to you? And then Trump kept saying, excuse me, I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all that stuff. That has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, you know, I'll do this interview and they'll probably read the manifesto. You know, he's a sick person. Yeah, Thomas Allens is a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I am not any of those things. And then Norah is going, Mr. President, I was never, and then Trump kept saying, excuse me, you shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes, you're a disgrace. President Trump told Norah O'Donnell, you're a disgrace. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes, you're a disgrace. President Trump quickly moved to use the attack to promote the massive new ballroom he's constructing on the White House grounds, hosting on Truth Social Sunday morning. I, as a peer advocate for mental wellness, a self-appointed peer advocate for mental wellness and spiritual growth, the Ideals Code of Universal Ethics, and mental health ethics and social health, I believe that it's unethical to label people. And I've been discouraged from labeling people, even when I was getting professional counseling, and even when I was doing my own research. Labeling someone right there is degrading. Although I do not support Donald Trump politically, I'm not a Republican, I am a Green. I'm a voter in the Green Party. I voted for Jill Stein this last election, and I don't support Donald Trump politically, but I have compassion for humanity, and I believe that anybody can change. I don't know if Trump is going to change. It's up to him to see his ways, see what he's been doing, and I have no right to label him. I'm not going to call him a pedophile. I'm also not going to call Norah O'Donnell a disgrace. Norah O'Donnell was doing her job as a reporter, and she did deserve respect. I think even Donald Trump deserved not to be labeled. But I do recognize his involvement in the Epstein thing. He says he was exonerated. Exonerated or not, it's a pretty serious accusation. You know, him being involved in the Epstein thing. But to persecute a person. I'm sharing this because I have been persecuted in my life when I was dealing with my own behavioral issues, when I was growing up, when I was an adult, when I was in therapy, and I am not proud of some of the ways that I have looked in society. Somebody growing up in an environment and in a family where there were no boundaries. I survived sexual abuse when I was growing up. I survived in an environment where there were no boundaries. But calling people names, labeling people, will not solve our nation's or our world's problems. And assassinating or attempting to assassinate someone, even someone I don't like. I don't like Donald Trump personally. I have a strong dislike for him, and an even stronger dislike for the things that I believe he's done. But I will not call him a pedophile. Not because I support him, but because it doesn't work. It doesn't help to call him a name. And it didn't help that Thomas Allens attempted to shoot him. And I'm genuinely glad that Trump was not hurt. But I'm not glad that other people were hurt, directly or indirectly, by some of the transgressions that he has made in our country. I don't like that he called Norah O'Donnell a disgrace. There are things that have to be examined in this country, and she was doing her job. And I'm honestly sorry that assassination attempts had to happen. I believe, though, that he needs to be removed from office. I believe that he does need to go through a legal process where his behavior is examined. And I believe that the reporter had a right and a responsibility to read and look at the crimes or the transgressions, allegedly or real. She had a right and a responsibility to do that. That is freedom of the press. That is freedom of speech. That is freedom of examining an imperfect and possibly very dangerous government practice, governance in the United States. If Trump does get tried and disciplined, I wish him. Without frills, I wish him a humane trial that does not focus on him, but on what he has done. Maybe even gives him a chance to confess, contest, repent. He's guilty of things, no matter what he says. But he doesn't deserve to be labeled. He doesn't deserve to be tortured or punished. But neither do other people that he's tried to punish. Hate the problem, not the person. I don't care who people are. I don't care what they've done. I believe in peace. I believe in discipline. I believe in the correct way to do it. Take care, everyone. I understand his defensiveness, but I don't understand why he had to put down Norah O'Donnell.